What has your pet accidentally conditioned you to do? Change the water in her bowl. It can be all the way to the top and she'll stand there staring at it until I take the bowl, dump it, and refill it with fresh water. My dog is a water connoisseur now. He will leave full bowls into shade and look at me for cold water from the water filter with a nice whiskey ball in it. I open the tinfoil as quietly as possible. My cat loves tinfoil balls, and whenever he hears it he runs over and looks at it longingly, despite him having at least 24 tinfoil balls already. You can't call him with a treat bag or tin. He only comes for the foil. Check the mail every day. He's so excited to walk to the mailbox with me, it reminds me to actually do it. Sleep with my legs a cat length apart. She likes to sleep in between them. Same here. I've noticed I'm much more awake/aware when I shift positions now, too. So I'm sure not to kick or squish her. Before I run in the morning I usually scarf down a banana. Ever since we got my sweet dog, I scarf down about 2/3 of my banana and he gets the last part. It's become a little thing. An unspoken agreement. The banana tax. It happens at my house too. Weaving his name into any song I can for no reason whatsoever. To press on my bladder to wake me up early so they could eat early. Living lots of food by night didn't solve it. 2 things. My dog Rusty always puts his front paws on me and I always hugged him, so now when he's anxious he'll give me a hug and I'll hug him back. The other one is when I get iced he always begs for one, so now without thinking I always toss him an ice cube. Edit. Thank you all for the awards. Ed, assume you'd all like to know the good boy is sleeping on my chest right now, and yes, he did get an ice cube before bed. My girlfriend's older cat makes me pick her up to drink running tap water from her bathroom sink. I also gotta pick her up to get on the dryer to eat, even though she can easily make the jump. My cat often does this. His food is in his cat tree, so the dog can't get to it, and sometimes he'll stare at me and the tree and meow loudly till I lift him. Other times he just jumps up and eats. Run towards the door when they start dry heaving. The sound of a pet or baby about to vomit needs to be an alarm. Instant wake up. I have a cat that plays fetch very insistently. She brings me her toy mouse, and if I don't throw it for her, she sits on my laptop keyboard. Of course this all started when I would throw the mouse to keep her from sitting on my laptop. My cat does that too. He broke the feather part off his string toy and he'll drop it on my face while I sleep if he wants to play a lol. Yell floor food whenever I'm cooking and I drop something, or go crunch 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 when I'm chopping veggies, so my dog knows I have extras for her. My dog would sit outside the kitchen with his back straight just waiting for me to drop some food. He knew he wasn't allowed in the kitchen unless I told him to. It was a small kitchen and I didn't want to trip over him to have him get hurt. As soon as I dropped something, I'd either just point to it or say go, and he would run in, pick it up, and sit outside the kitchen again like a tennis ball boy. It sucks every time I cook now and I have scraps, but no good boy to feed it to. My cattle dog knows if he coughs on my face in the morning, I will get up and wash it. Then now I guess I'm just up. Also, for one cat I leave the toilet seat up so she can pee. Otherwise she will go down the sink and that feels wrong. My mother's dog tells her when it's time for her evening meal, as in my mother's evening meal. The dog knows she eats after my mother, so when she starts to get peckish she goes and bugs her to start cooking. When I go back to visit, we'll be sitting chatting, and the dog will sidle in and become a presence in the room for maybe 30 seconds until my mother casually looks at her watch and says, I suppose we better think about eating. She's completely unaware of what triggers her decision. A presence in the room, I love it, haha. I know exactly what you mean. Too. Dogs have a way of sort of just conspicuously hanging around to get some attention. Loitering, if you will. Sleep on my back or front. I used to be a side sleeper, but have an elderly cat who loves her human bed. This wasn't accidental. I have a kitten, about 5 months old, Every morning, I wake up, and feeding him is one of the first things I do. In the first couple months, in his little brain, he learned that me waking up equals FOOD. About a month ago, he started waking me up, looking to expedite the process, jumping on me, meowing loudly, running across the bed. Whatever gets me out of bed. I usually wake up around 6 AM for work. I guess that was too late for breakfast, as over the course of about a week this kitten would wake me up about 15 to 20 minutes earlier every day. This started on a Sunday, and it wasn't until Friday that I was woken up and realized it was 4:30 AM. It was then that I realized I've been outsmarted by a kitten, and I was being conditioned to feed him in the middle of the night. Now if he wakes me up early, he gets locked out of the room until I'm ready to get out of bed. He doesn't wake me up anymore. My 14-year-old cat occasionally tries to get me to feed him earlier than his typical 5:30 to 5:45 AM. Luckily he won't wake me up before 5 and half the time I wake up that early anyway. But I will straight up walk past him and his food bowl to go to the bathroom, then go back to bed. Almost always, I'm joined by him for another half an hour or so without further complaint. He's my baby. One of my dogs has several barks, a play bark and a squirrel bark and other dog things that are normal dog barks. He also had what we call his emergency bark. The emergency bark is what he does when he thinks there is serious danger. It is extremely loud and makes us jump every time. He usually reserves it for things like the time I fell down the stairs and he scream barked for my husband to help, or when someone is in our front yard, or when he cornered a possum in the backyard. However, since my husband started working from home, this dog barks his emergency bark at my husband if he tries working past 4 PM. My husband now has learned to stop working at about 3:50 every day to avoid that jarring sound. Work-life balance. Dat. I had fish on top of this cabinet, not sure if that's the right word, so I would always be really careful when closing it so it doesn't disturb them. I haven't had fish or any other pet in 5 years, but I still do it. When I come home, my dog comes to the door all excited, wagging her tail, making this woo wow sound. It's not quite howling, but it's not barking either. I started to woo wow back to her because it amused me. But now if I don't, the sound she makes will turn into barking, which is very noisy and unpleasant. So basically she's trained me to have this dumb woo conversation with her in order to keep her from yelling at me. Edit because lots of people are asking. She's a Portuguese water dog. When I get up to go to the bathroom, I stand in the door and wait for my elderly cat to come in before I close the door. He likes to keep me company. If he doesn't come in right away, I'll call for him, and if still nothing, I'll start walking around the house looking for him. My kitten has taught me this new trick. If I'm using the toilet or having a shower, I have to call her in. With my finance, she runs from any part of the house to watch him pee. She's quickly received the nickname toilet attendant. My husky does this sneezing thing when she's anxious, and I imitate her every time she does it. Usually causes follow-up sneezes. I also know right when she's about to groan, when she's anxious/annoyed, and if I make the noise before she does, she won't do it. Shuffle my feet instead of walking when it's dark, so I don't step on my small black cat. Lol, when I turn the lights off, my cat instantly starts running from me because of this. I guess you conditioned the cat and not the other way around. Everything her little heart desires. BC, I'm an idiot sucker, and she knows it. You are their whole life, so might as well give them the most happiness you can. My wife just got out of the cat's chair on our front porch after he strolled up and meowed. Crazy thing is, it's not our cat. Leave the bathroom door cracked just a little so she can open it, see that I'm in there, and be on her way, instead of waiting outside whining and whining. No, I don't do this for pooping, nor when there are people over, as I'm not a Neanderthal. But she really needs to know it's me peeing in there, or she will freak the duck out about my location. Last summer my cat had serious health problems. He had to spend some days in the animal hospital. My place was so empty without him, and that was the time I realized basically I adjusted every aspect of my life to please/don't scare/don't hurt him. I only opened the windows to let fresh air in. If the cat is closed in a different room, I always watch where I step. I hurry home from work so he won't vomit on the carpet from stress and loneliness because he thinks I left him alone to starve to death. I always check the washing machine, the dishwasher, the oven before turning on, and so on. I'm checking literally everything, and I do everything carefully. I really can't imagine what will I do if he leaves me forever. I'm so used to his sweet fluffy presence. When I'm having dinner, my cat would jump on the table and look at me with squinting eyes until I feed him. I try to resist, but his eyes squint so hard it's as though he's about to fall asleep. Too cute not to give him a little bit of my food. I have 3 cats, so I'm as trained as a seal at SeaWorld. Here are just 3. In the evenings, I see will sleep on the living room furniture. If I get up to get a drink, she will stretch and roll over demanding belly rubs. And she wants me to tell her she is a pretty girl if I don't pet her and tell her that she will meow at me when I come back. Luna likes to know where I'm at all times, so she will call out to me and expect me to answer. I know the meow that means Lisa Simpson from where the hell are you? She won't stop until I answer her. Mr. Saucy Pants is a big baby, so he needs lots of reassurance, and I have to leave the bathroom door cracked so he knows he can get to me if he is scared. If it don't, this little paw slides under the door and he cries. The only time I shut the door is if other people are here. The cats run the house. Yell her name when she barks. It's just automatic now. I've shared this before, but I got my dog Snoopy when I was 10 years, and ever since he was a puppy he had this weird love for lettuce. He would go absolutely nuts for it. So whenever I had a sandwich or a burger, I would give him some of my lettuce. Over the years it became a ritual that whenever I prepared any food for myself that involved lettuce, I would grab some extra lettuce for him so I could toss it to him as I ate. He passed away 5 years ago after nearly 17 years together, but I still find myself grabbing that bit of extra lettuce for him. It's kinda funny that his little quirk has still stuck with me for all these years, and I honestly never wanted to go it away because it's a little way for me to remember him. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.